Hey folks, Chef Cutting here. I want to talk to you about a great new Paleo recipe I have. It's called beef tenderloin with portobello mushroom caps. Now what I do is I take that tenderloin, and tenderloin's a great meat to eat in a Paleo recipe because it really is the healthiest meat. There's very little fat and it is a very wholesome muscle meat. So that being said, seasoning it is absolutely crucial. So I've picked some really good seasons to put on this for your Paleo diet, and I've also put together a great accompaniment with this, which is our portobello mushroom cap. Now the portobello mushroom cap is a very large portobello mushroom. Take that little knob out of the middle of it where the stem is, and we season those gills and we put that with the meat, and it's mouth-watering. So for all of you who are looking for a brand new Paleo recipe to really try on your barbecue this summer, this one is definitely it. So let's get in my kitchen. We're gonna go hit the barbecue as well, and let's make ourselves some beef tenderloin with portobello mushroom caps. All right, folks, let's get started. Here we go. This is our tenderloin of beef with portobello caps. We're gonna make a portion here for two. So this is dinner for two. Here we go. We've got fresh ground pepper, 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of dehydrated garlic. This has some dehydrated herbs in it as well. That's okay. Just make sure there's no salt if you can't have salt. This is an option. Teaspoon of kosher salt. If you don't want to use it, omit it. This is a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper. You're going to love that. All right, I got big Florida broccoli because I'm going to serve that as my vegetable with the dish today. I've got some small peppers that I'm going to roast with the mushroom caps. And I've got 2 scallions that I'm also going to roast with the mushroom caps. And then 2 6-ounce tenderloin choice, because that's how I roll. Choice beef tenderloins. They're about 6 ounces a piece. You know, you go 8 ounces or 10 ounces, your cook time is going to increase. I like 6 ounces because it cooks pretty quickly. So let's get this party started. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my prep out of the way. So we're going to prep these mushroom caps. We're going to prep the broccoli. We're going to prep the scallions. Okay, so as you can see, I've broken the broccoli up into florets. You know, hand size. It's not a big deal. As long, well, I should say bite size. Real small ones like that. Don't go any smaller than that because they're just going to break up. I left the peppers alone because we're going to use those on the grill. Trimmed all the dead skin off of the scallion. Trimmed the end off. Took the rest of the dead leaves off. Made sure it's nice and clean. So we're good there. And then with the mushrooms, I wanted to walk you through this real quick. I took some of the olive oil and I put some of it, as you can see, on the gills of the mushroom. I also removed the lid like this. You can just wiggle it off and it'll come right off. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the garlic, the dried garlic, and I'm going to put it onto the mushroom cap like so. Okay? Very important. I'm also going to take just a little bit of the pepper and do the same. And then just a little bit of the salt, if you're going to use salt. I use kosher salt because it's not iodized. It's a lot healthier. It melts a lot quicker, and it's a lot less intense in the flavor as well as in the sodium. So, but again, if you don't want to use salt, don't do it. So that's the prep work. We're done with that now. We're going to move on to seasoning the steak. Okay, as you can see, I've placed some more of the olive oil onto the steak. Your total olive oil for this recipe is 2 tablespoons. So you're not using it all at once. So just remember where we're using it. We're going to rub the olive oil on both sides of the steak so the steak gets nice and covered with it. And then once we have it completely covered in the olive oil and it's nice and covered and it's got a shiny little, you know, surface area like that, then we're going to start seasoning it. And what we're going to season it with, which we're just going to go ahead and take our 3 or 4 if you're using salt, spices, and we're just going to take them and just toss them on top of the steak like so. So you're just going to go like that, and you're not really looking to make too much of a impact here with regard to the seasoning, because we really we're going to grill these. So when we grill them, we want them to really look nice on the hash marks, and I'll show you what those hash marks are. So now that I've
gotten the seasoning on the one side of the steak. I'm just going to simply turn it over and do it again on the other side. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and address one of the vegetables because the rest is all going on the grill. We're going to take the broccoli. You can see I can have a perforated pan there. You can also dip it in boiling water with some tongs. Broccoli doesn't take very long, so I've got a pot of water here that I'm boiling. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to drop the broccoli in there for just about 30, maybe 45 seconds. And I might use a spoon and stir it around a little just to get, it acclimated to the water. But I really don't want this staying in there for much longer than just coloring that. You see how everything's going dark green there? It's just a beautiful color. As soon as that broccoli gets to that point and that whole broccoli has just been exposed to some water, notice how I have all the stems in the bottom of the water. You can do one of two things. You can do it this way or you can steam it. Either way is acceptable. But I like to keep the nutrients of the broccoli intact, so I don't like to stick it in the water for a very long time. So like I said, keep this in a minute and we'll pull it out and you can put it in a container and get ready to steam it in just a few minutes. Okay, so it's been about a minute. I've got the broccoli done and we're good to go. All I got to do now is cook up my steaks and veggies and we can plate this up. Okay, we've got the remainder of everything ready to go on our barbecue plate. We have our seasoned steaks, we have our seasoned portobello caps, we have our nice little mini peppers, and we have our scallions all trimmed and ready to go. You'll notice I have just a little bit more olive oil left. I'm going to pour that over the peppers and over the scallions. And any oil that's left on the plate, we'll just go ahead and wipe that on there at the time. Time to go to the grill. Alright, so we have our barbecue ready to go here. And we're going to just go ahead and get this ready and portion this all up and place it on the grill. Okay, the steaks are going to go on first. Just going to go ahead and put them on like in an angle formation right here on the grill. The grill's going to be about a medium heat, but you know your grill better than anybody else. You're going to take your portobello mushrooms, you're going to place those up on the grill like that, leaving the gill side up. Onions, place those on the grill as well. Make sure they've been covered in that olive oil that we have. We still have some excess there, so we can go ahead and put that on there. And we'll go ahead and put those peppers also on the grill as well. If you have any extra seasoning and you want to season these, you feel free to do so. I mean, seasoning only helps the flavor, but I do like the natural flavors of some of these vegetables with the steaks. So we're going to leave that now, and then once you get a nice, line on that steak, a nice hash mark, you're going to flip it this way, and then you're going to do the same on the other side, okay? I'm going to show you what the hash marks look next. Okay, so there we are, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we have our hash marks right here. They're crisscrossed very nice and neatly. I've got some nice little marks here on my peppers. They're nice and moist. You can see there's a lot of liquid left over in the mushroom caps. See that? That's how you know it's all good. And that liquid has actually rehydrated that dried garlic, hence the reason I did that. Look at the nice little marks we have here on the onions as well. Be careful if you burn a little bit on the back there, you just take that leaf off and make it look presentable. So now we're going to get ready to move this off. I'm going to tell you right now, we're at about a medium rare temperature with this. If you wanted to make this any longer, you want to flip it over and do the crisscross one more time. You'll get to medium well and then well done. Let's plate this puppy up. Okay, now always remember, as I say in all my videos, make sure you let the meat rest. You see how that's bleeding out onto the plate? That means the meat is now relaxed. It's going to be really smooth and luscious to eat. We're going to go ahead and plate this up now. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is take my steak. I'll put that steak right up in the middle of this nice big white plate. You know I love white plates. Then I'm going to take my peppers. Just lean my peppers on like so. There. Then I'm going to take my green onion and get that ready. I'm going to take my mushroom cap now. I'm going to lean my mushroom cap over the steak like so. So I've got a nice little cap there. And then I'm going to just drizzle my onion right over the whole part of that there. Okay, so now that we've got all the vegetables and that beautiful steak there, we're just going to finish it off with a couple of wonderful pieces of broccoli. We're going to put those on top of each other like so and make it look really, really lifted. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a tenderloin of beef with portobello mushroom cap. Delicious.
Hey folks, wasn't that a wonderful steak recipe? It's one of my favorite Paleo steak recipes. It's really tasty, filled with heartiness. It's just an amazing steak to have at dinner time. And if you're interested in maintaining a healthy paleo diet that helps melt away unhealthy body fat, click the link in the description and learn the secrets. I'm Chef Cutting, and thanks for watching.